Todd, for tonight, for me, the court position will be interesting and important on who will dictate and whose terms this will be played on. But also, I think the patterns of play, because Jess Pegula really struggled with her forehand yesterday. If there is a little bit of a weaker side, it is the forehand. She loves the backhand, loves the backhand down the line.
Let for service.
And the reason for that is, what she struggled with yesterday especially, is the higher ball above the shoulder. She has the tendency to hit down on it and doesn't quite have that enough topspin, and that was a real issue yesterday. But then for Isla as well, her strength is the backhand. So with Isla, with trying to maybe break down the forehand, will that go a lot to her forehand back as well, which probably won't work for her. So it's about the patterns of play tonight. See, like that. Because for Isla, her strength is a backhand. So if you go forehand to forehand, it's a question of, will you win that battle with Jess?
Well done.
Good effort there. And that's really good awareness, because Pegula closes the net after the first volley quite a bit. And Isla here, I think she noticed that and goes up above the left shoulder especially. That's the weaker side for a right-hander. Yep.
Let for service. Deuce.
And some of the harder things for Isla on this comeback is that when she, in that lead up to injuring her knee, she had those runs to 3 quarterfinals of majors, 2 at Wimbledon and 1 at the US Open. And you're instinctive when you get your game points. A lot of her matches since the comeback, she's played well, had lots of game points, but not finishing things off and getting herself into a little bit of trouble. And as a prime example in this opening game.
A little bit up and down when you haven't played matches. You can't keep that row of points going, but also the big points, you don't play them quite as
freely.
Tight, yeah, as you would if you've had a lot of matches.
There is an opening breaker serve for Team USA.
And I think for me, the one thing that also Tomljanovic will have to think about tonight a little bit more as well is the Pegula ball is so flat and stays low. So for Isla, she'll have to work really hard with her legs as well and have that top on the ball, low to high, which is a little bit of something that Katie Bolter was talking about yesterday in the match with her coaches. So when you're doing that, you also got to be careful, though, that you don't start dropping balls short and that you still have that depth and placement. So a lot of work with the legs and a lot of work physically for Isla tonight.
Team USA. Let for service. And 15 love.
See, misses those 2 returns there, Todd, but I would say they're good errors. She's inside the baseline trying to attack the second serve. But now it's about finding the range. It's the trajectory over the net, but also not going too close to the lines. But she's trying to put that pressure on Pegula's serve.
$40 love. Game Team USA.
It's a love game to consolidate the break.
Team USA lead 2 games to love.
So this is a service game that Tomljanovic really needs to knuckle down and try and get on the board here. You just sense that little bit of anxiety in her. One of the, you're talking about the forehand of Jess Pegula, and one of the things that Katie Bolter did very well in her match to defeat Pegula was she used the word shape a lot when she went into her team zone. So we've got to get the ball more shape, get the ball to jump up that little bit.
Yeah, see, that's tough because it stays low. But Katie Bolter came out playing aggressive, but she just made a few more errors than Jess did. And she started by going, okay, how do I actually get a little bit more control? And that was the shape. But what that started to do is it also started to go up above that strike zone, the hip zone, where Pegula really likes the ball. And he started to really trouble her when he got a little bit up high. Now, I think the question is, can Tomljanovic do that? What kind of tennis does she want to come out and play tonight? Does she want to just go toe-to-toe, flat and hard, and see what she can do? Do you throw in the variety? Do you throw in a couple of loopy ones? That's where I think she needs to be clear on the game plan.
14, 15.
Good serving.
So it's looking strong, got some good speed on it.
But to be honest with you, I don't know how you feel about this, Todd, but I wouldn't try and go toe-to-toe, flat and hard, and hit in that strike zone the whole time. I don't think that Tomljanovic at the moment, and coming back from injury, would be able to win that battle.
That's an important hold. And Australia on the board here in this women's singles, but it is Team USA and Jess Pegula who lead 2-1.
Team USA lead 2 games to 1.
This is interesting, but who's going to do the talking here about what to do? So Lindstedt on the right there. Robert Lindstedt's the one going to give some advice.
Yeah, in the first match, it was kind of a little bit of both. Lindstedt was talking, but there was also Leighton where he was coming in at times as well. Nicole Pratt is in the back also. So there was a few kind of...
That's a lot of voices.
You wouldn't have been too happy with that, Tom.
Johnny Millman in there as well. He doesn't mind a chat. That'd be too much.
That wouldn't work for you, I know.
No,
that.
I like chatting. But
not with 4 people.
I'd tell them all what to do.
Second serve?
No, the first serve is not always coming like...
Yeah. That's all right. You'll find your range here, yeah? Yeah. Keep targets on your team. Keep building your role. Come on. Here we go.
Estes, quickly please, thank you. Time.
So Jess Pegula with the balls in hand, serving with the break, 2-1.
15 long.
That's good movement and court coverage from Tomljanovic. Really tried to hold her baseline, was pushed side to side. Really good there at end range. And I like that last one. Not trying to hit a winner here when Pegula came forward, but just drilled it. Hard to control that.
Thirty, 15.
Yeah, nicely done. Gets the one fast and hard into the Pegula forehand there. Just catching her late, but when you don't have a lot of shape on the ball, that will fly. Too good. I like what Pegula's doing with the shorter ball, though. When she does get it, she's really moving forward and coming to the net, the transitioning.
Well, the piece being there, the shorter ball.
Yeah.
And look where this one lands, and so that should be dispatched.
Yeah. But she's committing to it. She's looking for it and committing to it.
And there is another hold.
Team USA lead 3 games to 1. 15 love.
That is a good rally to get out of, build a bit of confidence that she can stay there with Jess. That's good from Tomljanovic, and I like that in that point, Todd. She, just even on that last one, was able to just expose the sidelines a little bit. Got to be careful if you're going to go this central, that you also keep depth, and that's where at times she hasn't been able to do that. I think she's going to have to spread the court a little bit more, Tomljanovic, in this match, if she can.
Love. 40-15.
I don't mind that play from Tomljanovic and coming forward, but Pegula, we know she's also an excellent doubles player, plays a lot of doubles, especially with Coco Gauff, and really used her awareness there that Tomljanovic was close to the net, goes up with the lob. Hard to control that again above the left shoulder.
(40-30).
A couple of doubles.
Those were the points you were talking about when you have more matches, that you just close out the games.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be dangerous to let players as good as Pegula back in, even if you've still got a game point.
And now the game's tightened right back up from 40 love, hasn't it? Now we're back to Juice.
But see, this is where I think that last ball before she missed the forehand from Tomljanovic is a little bit too central, Todd. I don't know how you feel about it. I think if you got to try and maybe construct the point a little bit. At the moment, everything is in the strike zone for Pegula. She's not having to really move much out there.
That's a little bit what you're talking about. She was trying to manoeuvre the ball, but then comes off the length and lands on the service line.
Advantage, Team USA.
So from 40 love, Tomljanovic finds herself down a break point again. Away with it. If that had gone over, either with the let cord or on its own, it was going to be a winner. It's becoming an important game. Every game important for Tomljanovic, but particularly when you're sort of just you know, trying to hang, and it's hard to hang with a top 10, top 5 player. That helps.
Nice one.
That's one part of the game that is looking good. There's got a lot of pop on the first serve.
Advantage. Team
I like that placement
Australia.
of that serve as well, and the variation, mixing it up, going both to the forehand and the backhand.
Oh, and a bit of hometown luck for Isla Tomljanovic. Tough game. She escapes the break point, and it is Jess Pegula for Team USA ahead 3-2, opening set.
3 games to 2.
So we have travelled all around Western Australia since we've been here, at least in pictures. And there are some magnificent looking places, and have a look at these. This is the Kimberleys, the Bungle Bungles, the Mitchell Falls. Has such an incredible historical indigenous culture to it when you get out to this particular area. It is just nature at its very best. But be careful where you swim, but that is pure water, and you can see some of the indigenous artworks. Great barramundi fishing, all those types of things.
Big target there, yeah?
Right here.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the RAC Arena for the United Cup in Perth, and it's a welcome back too to Jill Krabus, who has been sitting patiently waiting for me to introduce her courtside. Your thoughts so far, Jill?
Yeah, it's been a great quality match so far. I think the biggest difference I've seen right away from Pegula in particular from her previous match against Katie Bolter was she started this match much more closer to the baseline, especially second serve. She's been inside the baseline, and what Yelena mentioned earlier, moving forward through that ball, and there's no hesitation. I think that's why she was able to get on top in this match so far against Tomljanovic.
I like that from Tomljanovic. She's inside. She wants to take that return early, and she's got good timing on her. Just at the moment, just lacking a little bit of that trajectory. Right idea, though.
Fifteen-all.
That's a great return. Fast and hard with depth into the Pegula forehand.
30.
You don't have a lot of topspin when you get caught hitting it late and you can't quite control that wrist action. You can fly. That's what happened there.
She got lucky. Error from Pegula. There was a volley there to be had, and instead of going forward, she backpedaled and reset the point. But regardless, she's got a couple of break points, Tomljanovic.
I like though she's now spreading the court. Used it down the line there in that point earlier, pretty much for the first time in this match. I think that signals a bit of confidence as well.
A 30-40.
One save by Pegula. lovely little deft chip backhand from Tomljanovic to set up the forehand to get the point done.
I like the...
Here it is.
Yeah, not just this one. There was another slice midway through that point. But also, this is very smart when you've got a lot of options, but you go straight at your opponent as well, because it's hard to react when you're that close to the net. Very smart.
Back on serve in this opening set.
Oh, that's beautiful. Not just the return, but also the angle that she was able to get Pegula on her own forehand. A little bit more width through the service line right here, pushes Tomljanovic off the court, but this drop shot holds it long enough and then waits for Isla actually to move to her left and goes back behind her. Smart.
Isla obviously definitely starting to grow in confidence and play a little bit better. And just to touch once more on that last game, and Elena, you said it a couple times, is you like that she kept going after those second serve returns, and I like the fact that she didn't back down on that, and I feel like that's why she's starting to play a little bit better.
Oh, that's too good. Hard though with that approach shot. If you can't get Pegula more on the run and stretch, that was right in the strike zone and had an opening down the line. He had this one. That's not enough placement on the approach shot. The line was open. Hard to get in quick enough as well.
So puts the pressure back on herself once again with that unforced error off the forehand. Pegula with break point. And she gets it once again, dispatches the smash with a lovely angle, and Team USA on top again in the first with the break, 4-3.
Team USA, lead 4 games to break.
So tough, Jess. Good job.
Air Jess.
Good job. Let's go.
Air Jess, baby.
What did she say?
Air Jess. Let's go.
Air Jess.
I was like, eh.
Use your racket.
I don't even want to say more. Especially when it's like, shit. Sorry.
That's the one you discussed.
I just didn't put the ball in.
Yeah. I mean, literally you can break her every single time. I mean,
I think she's really. She had a couple good ones, but
I know you want to take it early on the second serve.
no, I gotta stay back.
Give yourself a little,
I gotta
little
stand back,
more room.
but still move in.
Yeah.
Just take a couple steps back. 'Cause she's serving good slice
Sometimes
bodies.
you're moving in so much, and then she hits that quick one, and you're not.
Because she
You're
doesn't
just
have a
jamming
kick.
yourself.
There's no reason for me to really be stepping in. I think the drop shot's good behind her. She just
It is.
turns and runs.
All right, come on.
Good, Jess.
Go, Jess.
So there we go. We'll look for a drop shot or two coming in the next couple of games. Jess Pegula just sort of saying that Isla likes to kind of run hard into the open court in terms of recovering from being pushed wide. So kind of go back behind with a short ball. We'll see whether she's able to execute that.
It's a favourite return, that backhand return from Isla, and I like she got out of the way of the ball quickly. It was going into the body. Good reaction to get her left hip out of the way so that she can get a good strike. Oof. Nice. And I think, Todd, I said it 2 games ago that at times the balls were a little central, but I think if she's going to play against these top players especially, there's no option. She's going to have to pull the trigger sometimes when the opening is there. You have to. And what I like, she's done that in the last couple of games. That's the way that she was able to get a break back.
New ball has helped here also. A little bit more speed on it has caught Pegula off guard.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you always have to go for the line or really low over the net. You can still have big targets, but get out of that central part of the court. That's what she's done better in the last 2 games, Tomljanovic.
Excellent returning game from the Australian. Breaks to love.
And Jill, that's that payoff we were talking about. Those returns she missed early on a couple times, but I said those were good errors, and that's how you will ultimately, with time, put pressure on your opponent.
That's exactly right. She refused to back down, and it's paying off now. She's now creating a lot more opportunities for herself. I think in the first couple service games, she missed 4 or 5 returns right in a row, but I love that she didn't back off behind the baseline, and now she's starting to get that rhythm. She's starting to make a lot more returns and giving herself those opportunities to step in.
Significant difference between the service speed of both of these women too. Isla can pop it in around 180 kilometres an hour, whereas Jess, her biggest is around 160.
Times now that Pegula has gotten caught on that deep, fast middle ball, but it has to be with the forehand side. She's good at directing the pace on the backhand, but she gets late on that forehand sometimes.
That's what Bolter did so well yesterday as well as that higher one to the forehand, but also just straight into it, into the right hip.
30-15.
Oh, wow. That's where you say too good. Isla anticipated that approach cross-court as well.
Alex Degenauer on the back of the picture there, coming out to watch after a good victory against Taylor Fritz earlier. Crisp volley.
Stayed low.
Oh, that's first time for a long while that Australia are in the lead here. 5-4, first set.
Great stuff.
Team Australia lead 5 games to 4.
Seems to be a bit of a problem or a pattern, Jill, for Jess at the moment, not being able to finish off the leads that she's having.
She's getting a little bit flustered as well. I mean, I think the one that landed on the baseline from Tomljanovic, she definitely thought that one was going to drift long and just lost a slight focus that caused the unforced error. But Tomljanovic, as this set has gone on, her ball has definitely gotten deeper and deeper, and I think it's just causing a little bit more problems where Jess isn't being able to step in as well as she did or in the beginning of the set.
The team are out doing a little bit of housework, signing some autographs for some of the young fans that have come out here tonight to watch him. He played brilliantly. Nice bounce back after a first loss here. That's how you do it, folks. Selfies, pen in hand, balls, flags, shoes, you name it. It all gets thrust in front of you to sign. And he makes his way down to the team bench.
Red time.
He'll have to, well, I was going to say he'll have to come out and play mix, but he won't, because we've got Matt Ebden and Storm Sanders lined up to play for Australia. Yeah. Matt Ebden been playing some terrific doubles over the last 2 years, and as has the world #1 Storm Sanders.
Nicely done. That's where we said now she's actually exposing the sidelines, getting Pegula on the run, end range, making her uncomfortable. Different shape of ball, different speed, not in the strike zone.
Oh, that's nice.
Nicely done, back behind. Yeah, that's what she was talking about as well, because Isla runs a lot into the open court, and no matter who you're playing against, to go back behind, not just to keep them guessing, but also that's how you take the legs out of your opponent. It's so hard to turn back to the same side. Hurts the legs. And there's the forehand error again.
13.
Oh, yes.
Works the point to find a gap. Sets beautifully with the technique on the forehand and drives a winner down the line, which brings up 2 set points for Team Australia. Oh, well saved.
30-40.
That was that pulling the trigger we were talking about. When you do have an opening, sometimes you're just going to have to go for it. She's doing it now.
She also pulled the trigger a bit more on speed on serve, Pegula. 171 there, one of the fastest of the night.
Net for service.
Two very good serves under massive pressure, Pegula.
Oh, yes, that's the high one. Up above the shoulder that Jess Pegula on the forehand really struggles with and really pulls it down. She did that so much against Bolter yesterday. And again there, not enough height over the net.
A third chance for Tomljanovic. She's up to the task. Another good first serve and another deep forehand.
Oh. That was not easy. She made it look easy over that left side with for a right-hander. That's the weaker side. Hard to control all the way up there, but she got that left hand over the racket beautifully to go over the higher part of the net as well.
Well, that's a big save for Team USA. 3 set points. And under pressure, Pegula coming up with the goods.
5 games all.
Just watching Pegula on the other side of the court, I mean, the incredible focus, because we mentioned earlier she had been showing slight signs of frustration when she made a couple unforced errors, but facing those set points, she just got her head down and had incredible focus in that game. It's
interesting, isn't it? Because that's not what she's brought when she's been in front while she's been here in Perth. Need to keep that intensity all the way through the match.
Yeah, no, I just wonder, Todd, we did the match yesterday as well, and Jill also, because for me, Pegula, when the scoreline's really tight, she's playing her best tennis. But yesterday when she had a set and 2 breaks up, and even here early on, it's almost like she's, you know, a little bit too relaxed for me. Almost a little bit passive, and like the focus is not there. Is that maybe the first couple of matches of the year, coming from the off season? You haven't quite played the matches just yet.
15 all.
I'm not taking anything away from Bolter or Tomljanovic, but the focus?
I mean, Jill, you've known Jess a long time.
Yeah.
Is that more her personality to be that way?
I mean, she is very relaxed on and off the court, but I have to say that one thing she mentioned about the offseason in particular was she felt like it was a very quick turnaround. Almost felt like she wouldn't have minded a little bit more time. As much as she loves this event and has great memories coming as defending champion, she did feel like it was a very short off-season.
So do you think perhaps maybe even because we still do have a couple of weeks till the Australian Open, it's almost, obviously she's giving it as much as she can, but maybe the focus is more Australian Open to peak for that and not stress too much maybe this week?
I think just using these as matches. I mean, obviously she wants to win. She's an amazing competitor, but yeah, just getting those matches in.
Fourteen, 15. Net for service.
Tomljanovic had a little luck earlier. This time
40,
the net cord goes the way of Pegula. Has a look, decides to go over. Oh, yes.
Team Australia.
Ball striking, improving from Tomljanovic as this set progresses, and she holds in at 6-5.
Team Australia with 6 games to 5.
Building pressure. Good deal. Keep going.
This is certainly a match for me where, because Tomljanovic has had a match at this tournament already, she's starting to play a little bit more instinctively, Jill.
Definitely, and I think, I mean, right now, what stands out to me is she's really liking Pegula's ball, and I think, you know, Pegula mentioned throwing in the drop shot. I think she's trying to throw in some slices as well, because Tomljanovic is definitely finding that rhythm and gaining in confidence.
Next break point, give her the white. Just give her the white. You went 4 for 4, and the scouting is the same. So just accept being ace wide, but just cover the tee. Next break.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Lots of little bits of snippets of information coming to Ajla Tomljanovic. Johnny Millman saying good legs, good legs.
Their time.
I'm presuming he means work hard with those legs. Jess Pegula now serving to stay in the set for a second time.
$15 love.
Yes, those are those returns that we were talking about again early on that she was missing, but those were good errors. And now that's putting pressure on Pegula, especially in the second serve, 136 k's an hour short. And I like this forehand because the body weight's going into it. She didn't hesitate.
That's a good response.
See, that one got up high and above the shoulder, but I like Jess there. She took a bit of pace off, but went more for topspin and height over the net. Often on this one, she pulls it down, and that's why we've seen her miss it. Look at that height over the net. More under and over the ball. And same thing here.
14-15.
This is good because the opening was there, so it's very tempting. Got to try not to overplay, but still more take it early when you change direction. Nice. I like that. Isla's got pretty big targets when Jess Pegula's coming forward, but she's keeping it hard and low. And like this one here, and then this last one, she had a lot of options, holds it, just waits for Pegula to commit down the line, and she goes into the open court.
Oh, the returns are just coming back so fast at Pegula, much faster than in the beginning of the set. I mean, Pegula was completely put on her back foot, had a lot of pace behind it.
Well, that's a good effort from Pegula, because she came in on a wing and a prayer, I've got to say. I think that's what the Rice smile is about.
Well, she kind of came on an approach shot that had no direction. This was a nice pick up here, but no man's land there behind the service line, Todd. Still managed to do well, good anticipation.
Absorbs the pressure once again, does Pegula, and takes this set to the tiebreak.
There's 6 games on. First set tiebreak.
I don't know, Jill, you're down there. For me, with Pegula, especially because she doesn't have the biggest serve. A couple of times there in that game, she served into the body of Tomljanovic, and I think that's really smart. You know, Isla's a tall girl, long levers, has been serving either to forehand or backhand. Isla's reading it. So just
yeah, I think it's very smart.
To jam her, right?
Yeah, and I just saw Pegula kind of mouth to David with that she needs to mix it up a little bit more, and I think that was what she was referring to, more body and just changing it, keep Isla on her toes.
Team Australia.
Well, that's a bit of scoreline pressure, but also Tomljanovic, where she's waiting to return right on top of the baseline, and you know that return's going to come back with interest. It almost draws you into hitting those double faults and going for more and a bigger second serve.
like that play from Pegula, and it worked well against Katie Boulter as well the other day, even though she lost that match. That slice and then forcing the opponent to have to hit up a little bit just allows Pegula to get aggressive on that next ball.
Oh, wow.
Crafty and accurate off the driving double-handed backhand.
I think all three of us know how difficult that shot is. I actually used to love hitting the dry volley, but to do this off such a high ball, off a backhand side, back down the line, wow. Very difficult. Good use of the left hand there.
It's tight, isn't it?
I think it's very clear, Todd, they're both targeting each other's forehands here on those big points. It's a battle of the forehand, and who's going to be able to just keep those unforced errors and short balls under control off that side.
If you're just joining in, Leighton Hewitt has Australia in the lead against Team USA, having defeated Taylor Fritz in straight sets in the first match here in the evening session.
Wow, that's a great point under pressure. It's really good commitment again to take the ball out of the air. Went back behind Isla.
USA.
Comes in quickly here, good dry volley, and then she comes forward, closes the net, nice and low, good racket control on that volley, didn't overplay. You like that one, Todd, that little volley?
She's mixing it up very well indeed. Taking it to Tomljanovic.
Wow. What a serve, and that backhand down the line, her signature shot. But look at how low she gets, stays through the shot, doesn't lift up out of it. Really ripped it.
Oh dear, not the time for a double. It's one each in this tie break.
5-4 Team USA.
Oof.
Nice variation.
The change-up drew the error. For a moment I thought, oh, what is that? But the change of pace, Pegula did not like.
No. Almost struggled there with the feet, with the timing, didn't get in position.
That was interesting, wasn't it? That was tense from Tomljanovic. She took pace off it, rolled it through. Then the second one halfway up the net where she's been going after that forehand return. Now brings a first set point for Jess Pegula. Remembering, she saved 3 herself. They're both feeling it though, Jill.
Well, that was gutsy because that was went for a little bit of a harder serve on that second serve, especially after throwing in a double fault. But
6-all.
Good composure from Tomljanovic and a really good strike on the ball, seeing Pegula getting late on that backhand.
This is massive, but I feel like to win this first set is much more important for Tomljanovic here. This is such a long set, 1 hour and 2 minutes already, and when you're coming back from injury, it will be, not that she can't do it, but a much longer way back, I think, for her than for Pegula. And I also think if she wins this first set, she will have a pretty good chance.
Well, that same ball that Tomljanovic threw to Pegula has been reversed. And it draws the error off the Tomljanovic forehand.
USA.
And a second set point for Team USA. There it is this time. Team USA in 1 hour and 3 minutes in a very tense battle. Takes the tiebreak, 8 points to 6.
That's a good start. Todd, I think early on when you played a good set of, excellent set of tennis, really, but you've just lost it, you know, by 2 points, 1 hour and 6 minutes. It's important just to not be disappointed and go, I've actually played well. Got to start really good early on in the second.
15-all.
Yeah, you need to maintain the level, don't you?
But it's, I think, more mentally the positivity of going, okay, I'm going to do the same thing, not be really let down and let that disappointment of not winning the set linger. Oh, wow. I like that court position. Jill, you're right on that baseline, Isla, right inside the court.
Some incredible ball striking throughout that point. Great defending from Pegula, but the difference on that last shot for me, for Tomljanovic, was just a couple extra steps forward towards that ball. It just cut down slightly on the reaction time for Pegula, and that made all the difference.
30 all.
Again, I will say it, I don't think that that's a bad error. Yes, it missed by quite a bit, but I still think it's a good error to attack a second serve like that. You're still sending a message that you can't just roll the serve in.
And that's the message.
30, 40.
That's the payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though you missed the previous return, that's a payoff right there.
Deuce. Advantage, Team USA.
Again, point goes begging again for Tomljanovic, and it means a hold of serve for Jess Pegula.
Second set.
And the atmosphere just being sucked down to the arena, it feels, from an Australian perspective.
It's very quiet down here all of a sudden after that game. I mean, I agree with what you guys were saying about having that upbeat positivity for Tomljanovic. That's a tough set to have to lose because she was only a couple points away from winning that set. Could have gone either way. Actually, it was such a close encounter, but you know, I felt like she played a good game. I think she's trying to still do the right things by being aggressive, made a couple unforced errors, but that's what got her in such a good position to win that first set. So I like that she's still going after her shots.
Yeah, and I think you have to remember, even before injury, that is how she played her best tennis. It was not by being tentative. She's a great ball striker, needs to have that court position. And even if sometimes at the moment in this comeback she does miss some of those shots, that's okay. She just needs to keep being positive.
15 love.
Good stuff from Tomljanovic to level at 1-all. Jess Pegula about to come back out to serve. And one of the parts of her game that can really improve, I think,
Yeah.
Elena, is the serve, particularly the accuracy. We've got a graphic here that explains that.
Yeah, if you have a look at that serve placement right there, and it's a little bit too predictable, too much there through the middle, but also look at the placement. It's too short as well. There's just not enough placement there, whether she's going down the tee or wide or even into the body. And that was right there, Exhibit A. And even though she won the point, that's the one part of the game that I definitely think that she'll have to improve on. You don't necessarily have to have the pace if you don't, but you've got to have that placement. She doesn't have that really, really good wide serve where she really cuts around the ball.
Well, and to this side here on the backhand court, really struggling to get it into the backhand corner. This goes middle and tee a lot.
I think the one for me out wide, why she doesn't go to the back, and that's not just today, it's because she doesn't have that pronation. The ball toss is too low and too far to the right, and from there you can't hit out wide, and she doesn't have a kick serve either because she can't go from left to right. Nicely done. A good hustle there by Tomljanovic, and to still have this racket control to be able to throw it up as a lob. Have a look at this here. She runs forward with the racket already there, so she was ready to hit, but to still be able to control it as a lob, not easy. Good hands.
The racket flying from Pegula, and you could just feel the tension building. I felt it in the previous game on the return, because that's something she prides herself on, is how good she can return. In that last game, she was frustrated not getting some of these returns in play, and that frustration just built up in her.
Catches the line, and there's the break. Wasn't an ideal volley, but it was enough. And Blake Hewitt's out there going, it'll do. 2-1, Australia lead, second set.
It's good to be late sometimes. Come on.
Team
Perfect,
Australia
right?
lead 2
Great
games to
coaching,
1.
Robbie.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Aussie Robbie. Yeah. Great stuff. No let up. No single let up. Good girl.
She's got the early break.
Someone else.
Team USA have the
You'd kind
first
of rather,
set.
yeah, you'd rather have next to you than Leighton.
Well, if you're Spanish, you might like Rafa.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean. I mean, some.
But if you're an Aussie, yeah, he'll do.
Yeah, he'll do. If you're Serbian, Novak.
There you go.
You know what I mean.
I do.
Well, you know what? I mean, even if you're an Aussie, you know, you, Todd. I know the first thing you'd say to me if I was playing out there.
Not sure I know what.
Get it in, will you? Just get the ball in. Am I right? No, I'm joking.
Maybe. First part of the equation.
think for Isla, it's important that when she hits that forehand cross and runs to the down the line, that she doesn't run too far back. She's got to at least still go horizontal or cut off even the angle at times if she can, because some of these balls didn't have that much depth to move that far back. So you just got to keep your court position the whole time. That's a really good serve, really good second serve into the body of Pegula, but body forehand jamming her there, hitting it too late. Just well done.
Well, she's just being really smart about her serve placement, like you mentioned. Elena, I think she's noticing that Pegula's getting a little bit frustrated that she hasn't been able to connect on quite a few of these returns, and now Pegula's returns landing a little bit short. It's definitely in her head trying to just make sure she tries to make the ball, and that's giving Isla a chance to move forward.
Game, Team Australia.
That is a good game. Some good serving there as well, and always very important to consolidate that break. Alex has stepped in to the captain role for a couple of games.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Leighton just leaving the seat for a little bit.
Well, as the number one player in the team, he is the decision maker. He's the one that picks the captain, decides who's going to, you know, play in the mixed. He has the ability to lead the team in more ways than one, off the back of being the highest singles ranked player.
15 love.
And this is a lot of what happened yesterday with Katie Boulter as well for Pegula. Just a level and the intensity completely dropped. The shot selection of trying to go down the line when she's changing direction, just too low, off the wrong shot. Too good. I mean, to get out of that ball that's going into the body and to actually hit a backhand off is so hard. Got to be really quick, time it well. Short backswing. She was jammed, but still, have a look at that. It's the left hand over the ball. Jill, you're down there. Does it feel a little bit like yesterday where she's really lost that intensity and focus?
A little bit. I feel like she's almost lost kind of a game plan. I think, you know, she's so used to being able to out-hit some of her opponents because of her power and the length on her shot. Pegula is such a clean ball striker. And it's so often that she's able to push her opponents back. And I think with Isla now inside the baseline, she can't do that as much. I almost feel like she's lost kind of a pattern of play.
And 13-14.
So point now for a double break for Tomljanovic.
That's the play I like. That slice.
But Jill, you said Isla's playing well and stepping in.
Yep.
Katie did that as well. It's all well and good. Everyone hits the ball well. Everyone's going to attack. But for Jess, it's where, okay, what do I do different today to make sure I don't lose the match? And what can she go to?
And I think she needs to incorporate that slice a little bit more when she has time to do it.
Oh. Oh, gee whiz.
Advantage.
Well, it wasn't great drop shot there from Pegula, and it was a worse one from Tomljanovic.
I think Isla here almost had too many options. Would have been better to just guide that down the line and push Pegula back behind the baseline.
Just opened up too many angles, didn't she?
Yeah, by going cross court, yeah.
And an important hold in the end for Pegula. 1 point, almost down 2 breaks, but she holds, keeps some pressure on Tomljanovic. 3-2 Australia lead.
3 games to 2.
I like those 2 slices better, even though you missed it. I mean,
Well, the United Cup being played across 2 cities. We're fortunate enough to be in the West, and we're in Perth, and that is Elizabeth Quay there, our hotel, one of those high-rises right on the water. Absolutely beautiful views of the Swan River, and so many beautiful restaurants and places to relax along the river and into the CBD, where you've got all the shopping, cafes, and it's about a 20-minute walk from the riverfront to the RAC Arena. And there's the pictures of the Swan River with Optus Stadium, one of the most beautiful and modern large stadiums in Australia. It's held the AFL Grand Final. It holds the international cricket. And it's a destination city, Perth.
Todd, I heard someone saw you walking along the river today.
Did they?
Yeah, people were writing to me saying that, you know, seeing Todd Woodbridge walking along the river in Perth. Yeah,
along the
they were
Swan.
excited.
Were they?
Yeah.
They didn't stop me and ask for a selfie or anything.
Not my response.
Time.
Taking too big of a swing.
Yeah.
So here comes an interesting part of a set where Tomljanovic has played some very good tennis. There was a point there to go ahead 4-1. Has to maintain the level again. We talk about that a lot, but has to keep the intensity up here and not let Pegula back in.
Well, you got to almost not let that disappointment of not breaking linger straight away into that next game, that letdown, and you got to win at least here 1 of the first 2 points.
And remembering that Pegula played some of her very best tennis when the scoreline was against her in that opening set.
Oh, nice. Like the early preparation there, but also the way that she set herself with the feet there. Tomljanovic getting out there very quickly and going back behind Pegula is good play, because she also likes to run a lot into the open court.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. That will rattle her.
I just let drop a little bit too low. It was great hustle from Pegula, but you could see Tomljanovic setting up for that second overhead. Just let it drop a little bit too much.
I think she thought the first overhead was going to do it and just wasn't quite ready for the second one, and then it completely mistimed it.
Yep, you should never stand and admire your own shot because it may come back.
15-40.
She pays the price, and Pegula jumps on that forehand. She gives herself 2 break points to get it on serve in this second set. Excellent point from Pegula, utilising every corner of the court, manoeuvring her opponent around. And she's got her back on serve.
Well, she really worked that point, constructed it beautifully, used every single inch of the court. And that drop shot as well stayed low. But I like that she didn't go for that outright winner on the passing shot. Instead, really kept it low to make Tomljanovic have to hit a really tough volley up.
Pegula's cleaned a little bit up on that forehand side, because even before that last game was motioning and shadow stroking the forehand, and now it's definitely got a little bit more acceleration behind that forehand.
All.
It's some great defense there from
15-30.
Tomljanovic. Just getting that extra ball back. Just never know what can happen. Sometimes making your opponent miss is a skill in itself, isn't it? See, I like that forehand from Pegula. That was, you know, on purpose, took a bit of pace off, really made sure she gets under and over the ball, gets it higher, gets it deeper. For me, I think that's a shot that she can do a lot more of, Todd. It would make her a lot more consistent and cut out some of those unforced errors. As good as she's a great player. That's an addition I think she can bring into her game more often. Oh, wow. And that's important. Also, you play yourself in that way as well by making more balls and having a bit more safety and making the ball dip. And then sometimes you can then go and do this, a flatter one. Just a little bit more variation. Love that play.
Yes.
I like it when she comes forward, Tomljanovic. And I think sometimes, Todd, she approaches cross-court, doesn't she? It's dangerous, isn't it?
That was a danger. She got away with that one.
Yeah,
yep.
She lost a couple points by approaching cross-court because you leave too much court and angle open. See, Pegula pretty much always approaches down the line, so your opponent's not running onto the ball. They have to run also away from the ball as well.
This is this moment in the match again where Pegula's got herself in a position to be ahead, Jill, and can't finish it off.
She wanted a free point there, went for
Yeah.
very small margin on that serve.
Well done. That was not an easy shot because she was back behind the baseline. It was a good approach shot down the line with the slice. But Tomljanovic held it long enough here where Pegula just got stuck a little bit waiting. Nice, I love that reaction as well. A lot of positivity.
Break point.
Another really, it's interesting because she's digging so deep when she's down. Jess, Jill, maybe someone just has to keep telling her that the scoreline that she's down, not up.
That does work for a lot of players, actually.
Maybe David Witt, her coach down there, can just, I don't know, keep screaming out the wrong score that she's down.
Advantage, Team USA. Game.
So that was a tight and important hold for Jess Pegula. She comes back from 3-1 to go ahead 4-3 after taking the opening set for Team USA.
Like one of your change of paces, you're going after it more, which is good.
For 1 second, I mean, I kind of had to go for it. Like,
That's fine. That's fine. Keep her honest. But like on the return games, you're much better. Shorter contact.
Yeah, that was way. And then I hit a couple good cross court because I was here.
Right, you don't need to take a big swing. You're hitting it hard enough. Play her tough here. Let's get this break right here.
So crunch time coming for Tomljanovic. She's had 3-1 in this set. And Pegula's been able to pin it back.
Play time.
Comes out with the positive energy that Yelena's been talking about. It's a must-hold service game. Team USA trailing in this tie against Australia. Straight sets victory for Alex de Minaur against Taylor Fritz. Earlier today, Poland went through in Group A, won their group by winning the mixed doubles against Spain.
Love. For service.
Oh, I like that variation. She threw up the loopy one, and again, Pegula Just struggling with those balls up above shoulder height. You have to get on top of that bounce. It's either you get on top or you go back and get it in your strike zone there. Pegula didn't quite adjust with her feet.
(13, 15).
The silence is deafening, Jill.
It's pretty quiet. I can barely speak above a whisper. There's a lot of tension down here.
Mm-hmm. And this is where I think, though, that Team Australia need to utilise and capitalise on having a home crowd.
Yeah, I think especially for Isla here, if she holds, I think she really needs to use the crowd here. Not just for herself, but you put pressure on your opponent when the crowd gets involved. It just gets you that little bit more nervous and tight and that tension.
(14-30).
Taylor Fritz there. He loves talking tactics and discussing options when he's out, either on court or even in the team zone watching.
Oh, I tried to put a lot of effort behind that one and didn't really need to. She's hitting with enough pace, but that one was a little more forceful from Tomljanovic.
That's the one where she just finishes a little low around hip height. Just got to go a little bit up above the shoulder to get that height over the net. Just a tiny bit. Very similar to Pegula.
Oh dear. There was a double in the tiebreak too, towards the end, that proved costly, and there's another one.
Team USA.
4 doubles for the match for Tomljanovic, and only the first one in this set, but couldn't come at a worse time.
Gee, that's good effort. That is just mentally strong to still get a first serve in there, get it to the Pegula forehand.
She took a bit of pace off
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say she took a little off, and I think it worked to her advantage because
the slice,
Pegula was ahead of herself on that return.
Advantage, team
A little unusual to
USA.
say the least, and she sees the same funny side of it, and just kind of like a weird ball to Tomljanovic, who can't
That's
make
a
her
little
own
bit
pace
of,
off it.
yeah, that's a little bit of just a long point. You can see she hit down on that forehand. So when you get a bit tired, that will happen. You just collapse a little bit.
It's long, and there is a breaker serve for Team USA, and Jess Pegula She's turned this around beautifully in set number 2. She'll now serve for the match.
5 games to 3.
And she has certainly silenced the crowd, Pegula.
Left second service.
Wow, that was some incredible ball striking down here courtside. Unbelievable pace between the two. Great defending there from Pegula, but this one had so much pace behind it. Great balance from Tomljanovic to finish that shot.
Love 30.
Not over yet, though.
Fifteen, 30.
Oh, good drive volleys galore from Pegula.
Well, she's so good at being determined to take all those balls out of the air, and she's done that consistently throughout this match and has just applied so much pressure. I think that was smart because she just continuously kept Tomljanovic off balance.
And rising to the occasion here when she's got the chance to serve for the match from love 30 down.
40-30.
Jess Pegula finds herself at match point for Team USA. It was there for the taking.
It was so there, and she knew it, just threw her head back, and that's the shot that she had to go for, trying to go for that angle, but she's struggled on that one to get enough height on this ball. is good close from Tomljanovic just to make the court look a little bit smaller.
Advantage. Team Australia.
Great spirit from Tomljanovic. Her chance to get the break back on serve.
Let for service.
Lovely, calm passing shot from Pegula.
Well, I felt like you knew Tomljanovic maybe would have been a little bit in trouble. She just caught it a little bit late, so had to hit up on that ball, but that is Pegula's sweet spot, that backhand passing shot. She hits that beautifully.
Advantage. Team USA.
And so a second opportunity now for Pegula to seal this win. Gets it this time and levels for Team USA.
76-6-3.